Welcome to the Practical Prompt. This is where we speak with business owners and learn how they're applying today's AI tools to everyday challenges. Hey guys, how are you doing?
Good.
Hi, good. Good morning.
Morning. Uh, it's actually night for me. Where are you guys
Ah,
located?
yeah, we're actually in Turkey right now, so I guess our time zones are switched.
Yeah.
Okay, makes
We've
sense.
been here for the last, I'd say, 28 days. Like me personally, 28 days. And then Igor's been here for about a month and a bit as well.
Okay. Can you
Yeah, for
can you guys
sure.
introduce yourself?
Yeah, definitely. It's great to meet you. My name's Sawyer. So Igor and I founded Concrete together about a year and a bit ago. It's been nearly a year and 3 months. And I'm mainly focused on business relationships and sales and overall front end stuff of the business.
Yeah, my name is Igor. I met Sir, yeah, like you said, about 2 years ago, actually in Vancouver, Canada, and yeah, we've been working on Concrete, which is our business right now ever since. Yeah.
We'll go into questions about concrete as well. So, Igor, I have a question for you. I saw that you had a jewelry business at one point using Shopify. Like, why jewelry and how did you get started?
Yeah, yeah, thanks for that question. It was actually one of my first business projects that I started in the university. So it was when the drop shipping was really popular, but then this project ended up going outside of the regular norms of drop shipping, where you just have a supplier. I was actually having a lot of stock of my own later. And yeah, this whole business started from me just trying to pursue an idea of like making an online project that will be basically working and generate a certain income online. And the reason why I chose jewelry is because I thought I I have a feeling of style, so I wanted to kind of pick up different jewelries together. But also at the same time because it's pretty easy to ship, it doesn't take a lot of space, and it's not likely that the jewelry is gonna, um, let's say, break during the shipping process. So yeah, that kind of made sense for like the online product, like that.
It's cool that you guys started that in university. How much work was it?
um, you know
Like,
it,
what all steps you had to do, like a website? I'm guessing you used Shopify, so it must have been easier.
yeah, yeah. I did use Shopify. I mean, initially nothing worked, to be honest, because before jewelry I had like two or three more projects where I was trying to kind of sell everything all together. But then I guess the one of the most important steps was to define the brand. Like, what was the brand? Uh, like, what was something that unites everything, all the pieces together, like the social media, the website, the kind of products we're selling, how we're talking about them, both in social media and the website. And once I understood that, that's when I kind of started to see first sales, because you can see the nice website. All the products have the same kind of look and feel to them, and that made a lot of sense to me because my first project was actually about like eco-friendly yoga mats as well as eco-friendly lighting, which may sound good on the surface, but it kind of didn't make sense together. So yeah, it was rather hard to explain to people why should they actually buy it.
It's interesting. I would have questions about social media marketing, but I think we'll get into like I think Concrete is doing that stuff as well, right? So I had a question about you both have worked in the fashion world for a bit. So how was that different? How was your experience?
Yeah, it was definitely an experience. I kind of had met Igor around about like a month into working there. We worked there for about a year, and it ranged from us, doing high ticket sales, so finding designers from across the world, from New York to New Zealand to London to everywhere across the world to try and get them to do a showcase in the seven fashion capitals around the world. So it was really exciting, especially with my background being in fashion as well. So it allowed us to kind of curate a show in a way It just mattered on how good you were at sales. So that allowed us to talk to so many different people, and then also get to work on the shows. So we were able to, I was fortunate enough to get flown to New York to be able to manage the show, and be able to then look at, it was kind of crazy as well, looking at managing a lot of the internal things like security, to doing PR work, making sure people aren't sitting next to here, organizing the seating. So the job was almost run like a startup, but then it was just full on. We're looking after the events. So there was, what else was there that I was having to do? There was, I had to look also after the after parties. So managing the after party tickets, who's coming, why they're coming, the reason for this, organizing sponsors for the event too. So to put it simply, it was a lot. It was a lot of different things, and I know Igor had a similar experience as well, so I'll pass over to him. But yeah, from my side, it was a lot of different things, from sales, marketing, to relationship building, to PR work, and especially with the role, it covered a lot of different fun activities too.
Igor, do you have something to add?
Yeah, we were working with Sawyer very closely, and initially my job position started as sales, marketing, and website coordinator. So it's like everything all together mixed. But yeah, I really enjoyed this time. That was kind of the time where we first started using ChatGPT and a lot of different automations to basically make the process of finding designers that will actually go to those fashion weeks much easier, and then kind of streamline it in a way where we don't spend a lot of time for different parts of this pretty complex thing of actually getting someone to call with you. Yeah, what I was doing there is pretty much two things, which was to manage and maintain as well as upgrade the website, and because actually two websites, and then invite different designers in the ways that I want. The company kind of didn't have the rules of how we should actually do it, so
yeah,
we were given a full freedom, and that ended up in being a fruitful journey so far.
Yeah, and to add on to what Igor's saying is we had so many external roles. So what ended up happening is Igor came together. Igor's amazing at automation. I love sales and understand sales really well and understand people really well. And we came together and we basically made something that was able to find, verify, and then automatically send personalized messages out to these designers daily. So Igor and I, in the last 3 months of us working at Fashion Week, I personally sent about 3,500 plus emails to 3,500 plus prospects across the world. Some of them graduates from London, to people in New York, to people again in New Zealand, Australia, all different fashion likes, and people from different walks of fashion, from just graduating to maybe 60 years old. And what that did is, because we had fine-tuned how the emails sounded, when the emails were sent in someone's mailbox, it was like they were getting like a Hogwarts letter. It was incredible, right? You're getting a letter from like a fashion house, for example, New York Fashion Week. So the way we pitched is we made it personalized to that one person through the information that was available online, meaning this was early 2023 when no one was really doing something like this, to where you open your mailbox and you're getting something from New York Fashion Week or London Fashion Week or Milan Fashion Week or Paris Fashion Week, and you're a designer. And then after that, you get to talk to a designer coordinator, which was Igor and I, talking about your challenges, what your strengths are, finding those pain points. And then for us, it was able to actually then on-sell them to packages. So that led Igor and I to sell quite a lot of packages. I'm not going to put a number onto it, but it's out there on how many we were able to sell each. And that kind of gave us that jump start into us building out Concrete and us building out our core product, which is APOS, so automated personalized outreach software. And now we've had the ability to work with tens of people in the last year to actually really change their life. And for us, we've been able to pinpoint that into the fast-moving consumer goods space. So that's how the journey of fashion has kind of now molded to Concrete. And yeah, I'll pass over to Igor again because I don't want to yap too much, but yeah.
I have a question actually.
Yeah.
How did you guys build it? So this was in 2023, right? And
Yeah.
a lot of new models have come out since then, and how that
Yeah,
workflow
yeah,
would
yeah.
look
Yeah.
today compared to what you guys built in 2023.
I'll say on a base level, and then Igor definitely will go into those details of it because it was awesome. We used a web scraper, like a basic web scraper. It's widely available now. It's called Browse AI, but again, you had to know how to train it, and that's something Igor knew how to do amazingly. And then, yeah, I'll pass it to Igor to go a little bit more into details in terms of how we
Yeah,
use the
basically
CSV
it
and
was,
stuff.
it's like, it was semi-manual at that time. Some things
Yeah.
were automated, some things were not automated. Yeah, we're pretty much using the same scraper, like Sir said, Browse AI, and then regular ChatGPT 3.0, I think, or 3.5 just rolled out around the same time. For personalization of the emails. Yet to send out those emails, we were actually using a thing called Mailmeteor, which is just your regular email send out tool, where it will just spread the email into different parts, and then tell ChatGPT to basically write different parts of the email and then just paste them in manually. So that's how we were doing it at that time. But still, compared to our co-workers who were sending 15 to 30 emails a day. Usually it was about like 15 to 20 because our boss basically was telling us you have to personalize email really, really well, because if you're not going to do that, like, your emails are probably going to get into spam, and mostly because each designer is like had to be really, really like taken care of in terms of like understanding like their collection, what they're like, how to approach them in the right way. And I think when I understood that we're doing something right with the way we were personalizing emails, the way we did, was when I had a meeting with a designer who actually cried because that person was like, wow, no one has ever understood my collection so well, and you did this over an email.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible stuff, especially with ChatGPT coming out, the end of the year before. And so, seeing what Igor and I had built together in like hard hours, because don't get me wrong, yes, it was making it faster. So for example, people were sending at most maybe 15 or 20 emails a day, because you got to remember, you got to do the research, you got to find their phone number, email address, all this information. We were getting in about 10 to 15 booked meetings a day. So our Calendlies were just going off like a famous person's Shopify account. It was going ding, 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 ding. So we would launch a campaign, we'd get these meetings booked. And again, like Igor was saying, I had many similar things where, we're talking to people and they've never had someone understand their work of body like that. And it was a little bit crazy because we didn't really do the research on them except for 10 minutes before the call, because the way we set it up is that we were able to look at the CSV file, look at the information, because we put through a qualifying system on Calendly. So we've seen the phone, the name, number, why they're into Fashion Week, and then even some points we even set up an automation to where it qualified them even further, because we were getting so many booking appointments that if they didn't answer the certain amount of questions about budget, or they didn't answer a certain amount of questions about anything else, they wouldn't be able to book a meeting with us. So then it allowed us to further qualify these people. And so the people we were talking to were really excited designers, So like Igor was saying, we were talking to people that, needed that platform or needed to be discovered. And through APOS, we were able to discover them and find them, because the business we were working for was around for over 20 years. So it was already hard enough to try and find new designers. So for the ability to use APOS and do this, yeah, it kind of hit the
It's
nail
so
on the head
interesting
with
to
it.
hear that a designer like cried because they got a personalized email. And
Yeah.
now it's easier to create these workflows to send out like personalized emails. So now people are trying to
Exactly.
find out, is this text AI generated because it's too
Yeah.
verbose? So yeah,
Yeah.
it's very interesting how human perception like changes, human behavior
Yeah.
changes with time, right?
Well, the way we had the
Yeah.
emails personalized, it captured our tone of voice. So my emails were different than Igor's emails, but the way it was written, it still kind of hit pain points of what people were doing. We use a framework that I was taught called NEPQ, so Neural Emotional Persuasion Questioning, which allows you to target different types of questions to someone to kind of get different types of emotions or feelings or actions out of what that person's doing. It's used really commonly in sales as a different framework. So it just asks different questioning. So we still use it to this day in our own sequence for APOS, now that we've built out a dashboard. But yeah, then again, trigger questions and get questions so you have a really good
Can you
opportunity at selling.
explain that a bit more? Can you go with the framework?
With NEPQ?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So NEPQ, it's a lot of other salespeople use it, and it's, again, like I said, NEPQ, so neural emotional persuasion questioning. It can be a mouthful sometimes. It kind of stems from another framework, NLP, which I've forgotten the exact translation of it, but what it does is it uses a variation of connecting questions, situational questions, future-pacing questions, problem awareness questions throughout either in person, so talking on a meeting like this, or through email. So what it can allow you to do is kind of identify and vocalize a challenge that someone's having. So if it's going to be like a problem awareness question of that could be, what happens if you weren't to do this fashion show? Are you going to be in the same position that you're in now, or are you going to be in a different position? So just by asking a question like that, it's probably made you think, right? No, I'd probably be in a different position if I did a fashion show. So by asking these types of questions, you're able to kind of trigger certain emotions. And it allows people, if you were to throw like a consequence question, what happens if things stay the same for the next 4 to 6 months? Or, if you stay the same, how is this going to impact your future goals of being the world's best designer? And we use this to this day for a lot of these, other brands that we're working with. For example, we've worked from software brands, like I said, to fast-moving consumer goods, to even healthcare companies. And by using these different questioning resources, it allows, your emails to have a certain edge that a different email doesn't have, paired with the fact that you're using personalization, again, tone of voice. We use examples of people's work to then write those emails. So then at the end of the day, we've got these sequence of emails that are exactly like how you would have written them, but in more of a pain-pointed way in sales.
Interesting. I'm hearing about this for the very first time. It's interesting. And you mentioned about your clients. So what kind of different requests do they come up with? Are they all pretty much the same, or you have to differentiate the workflow for each of the clients?
We're very much a hands-on company. Igor and I from the start have agreed to be very much a white glove service. So with APOS, we provide a very premium service with that process. So the way that process looks like is someone will come on board with us and work with us for the period of 65 days. This is just if they're going to do an email campaign. We also have LinkedIn outreach and then ringless voicemail as 3 different outreach channels. But if everyone's doing an email campaign, which is the one we did for Fashion Week, how it works is we have 3 strategy sessions. So those strategy sessions are there to understand the industry, your USP, so unique selling proposition, as well as the audience that you're reaching out to. And these 3 meetings take about 30 to 45 minutes each. And during these meetings, we're actually going a little bit deeper and asking a lot more questions about what that customer is, who they want to sell to, what are their goals, what are the samples of work. And then we're providing 5 prospects that have been altered until we get to that 3rd meeting to where it's the perfect tone of voice. It matches what they're saying. And so then we can run a campaign. Usually our campaigns start at 1,000 prospects with 5 touch points. So that means we have 5,000 points of contact over the span of 65 days, which, like Igor's saying, again, we have all of it's personalized and all of it's AI. Yeah, pass over to Igor again. I don't want to yap too much. I can talk about APOS and concrete all day, but yeah, pass over to Igor.
And
Yeah.
Igor, do you want to add something?
No, yeah, Sora pretty much explained it pretty well.
Yeah, I was going to ask a technical question, so this was for Igor.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to, this is a pretty long process and very intensive. So if someone wants to build a simplified email outreach workflow for themselves, how would they do it? What tools would they use? How would they go about it?
Yeah, I would definitely come to Concrete and check out what we're doing first, for sure. But if you want something simple, you first need to understand kind of like the goal, whether that's completely cold outreach and you need to find new contacts and most likely information about certain people, or you have a newsletter already set up, and you're contacting basically the people who are already knowing about your business. And so those are two completely different scenarios. And if, let's say, it's the case number one, then I'll definitely recommend using something like N8N or Make.com to connect different modules together, because you would basically need a web scraper. The kind of web scraper you would want to pick will definitely depend on the source of data that you're using. So whether it's just, let's say Facebook, or it's just the regular internet, you definitely need to understand that. We were using we were using browse.ai when we were doing this semi-manually, which was good enough for the purposes that we had. It allowed us to scrape kind of websites that have kind of like a database structure to them, but it was not, I guess, so good for scraping the information across different various websites. So we ended up building our own scraper, which is, I would say, much more powerful than any other scraper that I've seen online so far.
Yeah, and just to add, this is something our CTO built, Dale.
Yeah. He's not on the call today, but his name is Dale, and I think you can find us on our LinkedIn's as well. And the second part to it, because there are 3 parts in total, is definitely like how you personalize emails, what kind of techniques you're using, which models you're using. I think ChatGPT is great, but I also like Claude as well. And the third part is where you send out those emails, whether you're using how's your domain health looking, because with emails there are a lot of moving parts, like what kind of SMTP server you're using, how many people actually open and reply to your emails, the historical data about that. It's it's getting more and more complicated with each day, because I'm pretty sure you're receiving a lot of emails every day with different promotions, even though you never signed up for those, or you did, but still, for me, it's really a lot of emails. And to get through the noise, it basically comes down, all those little factors are coming down to making sense to the people you're reaching out to. And that's why we are also running this white glove service, because our number one goal is not to send the email, but to actually, because we know we can do that, but to actually formulate the right offer for the right person, because sometimes it doesn't really make sense to send out tens of thousands of email to the person with the offer that just doesn't make sense, or everyone else has. So it has to be something that people can really, really understand well. To give you an example, we were working with an alcohol brand who was just starting. They basically just started making their drinks, and their drinks was represented in a couple of alcohol stores in New Zealand, but they basically wanted to grow. We also worked on a website for them so that they could present their business better. And we have made this APOS campaign where we contacted them with over 600 different alcohol retailers, which ended up for them in opening up in about 60 new locations pretty quick. And what we did in that email, we were offering a free drink to the store owner, because we were also able to find store owner email address.
I'll jump in, because it was we provided a sample pack. So the reason we provided a sample pack is, again, why we realized the fast-moving consumer goods space is for us, is because when you're presenting to people over email, if you have more of a physical product, you're going to be able to hit home a lot harder compared to if you have a less tangible product. That offer isn't as tangible, so it's not going to hit home a lot harder. So the kind of calculation that we came up with is the less tangible your product, the higher your offer needs to be. So for example, if we were working with a software business, what they had to do as an offer is provide 30 days free with a personalized XYZ software, and then after that 30 days free, they can choose to pay per month. But then, like Igor was saying, for the company working with Jagia, so Jagia is a Korean soju brand, 7% alcohol, 0 sugar. It's delicious. It's not available in Canada yet, but it's amazing. And we offered a sample pack. So the sample pack was just a box. So for them, that's about 30, retail value is about 30 NZD. And there's a little bit more of a tangible aspect. Obviously, the drink is quite unique as well, but that allowed them to get, like Igor said as well, 35 plus stores in under 60 days. And that's just not getting connected with, that's actually their product selling in someone's stores in under 60 days. And that was purely because of the web development we did at Concrete, plus the A+ campaign we did. And there's similar stories as well within that same space, consumer goods, fast-moving consumer goods. And then again, when the offer's right for less tangible products, those same brands too.
Yeah, those examples are really helpful. And yeah, about the workflow, so there are 3 steps, if I understand correctly. So scraping, then generating the email so you can use any model out there, and then sending out the email. And the domain health is important because you don't want to end up in the spam.
Of course.
It should be in their primary inbox and they should be able to open it.
Again, we'll stress it again. Definitely come to us first. Our model's pretty affordable because we did it ourselves. We understand how long it takes to actually get results. So again, I'll say the tools so everyone knows them. Browse AI, use Google Sheets, and then use Mailmeteor to send them out. So that is going to give you a really great base if you're wanting to send some emails out by yourself that you're not going to be able to find anywhere else. That's what we would recommend doing, especially what Igor said, find something with a database structure. But you have to be careful of a lot of different things. So the big one, if you're doing something like this, is you have to make sure that the emails that you're finding are publicly accessible. The one thing with Concrete that separates us from a lot of different brands is we're getting live data. That's the key thing here. We're getting live data. So that means we're finding unstructured data around the internet. So 39 different data points. 5 of them are Google Maps, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. That's just the basic ones that we use. But then we have, my math's not the best, but maybe I think that's 34 other data points that we use to then validate, verify each and every single one of those emails, sending ghost emails back and forth. So that means when our customers have those emails, they're going to be sent out. So if they pay for 1,000, all 1,000 emails are going to get into someone's mailbox, which is the key point here, because there's ZoomInfo, Apollo, those brands use bloated databases. So they update it every about 3 to 6 months. But with us, it's when you want the campaign. So that very day, that person works at that business. But yeah, if people wanting to do it themselves, definitely use those 3 tools as a starting platform. But you have to be mindful of a lot of different things. GDPR rules, which is just safe sending, and spam protection, canned spam in Canada. There's a lot of different things that people don't realize, and if you do it wrong, I think it's anywhere from $25,000 to $50,000 per email that you can get pinched on if you're not following these rules. That's why, we say, let us look after it.
And when a new model comes out, how do you guys test it? Do you guys just generate an email and be like, okay, this one looks better than the other one? Or do you guys send out a lot of emails and see what the open rate is like?
Yeah, whenever is actually a good question because, ChatGPT 5 rolled out pretty recently, right? So, we definitely check the results. We pretty much do a big test of a big sample group where we see, were there any significant changes to the emails? Because we kind of pretty much anyway control the whole structure of the email, how it sounds, how it looks like. So we know specifically, which points to check. And when the sample group is big enough, we can also see on scale, the percentage of emails we're not going to send, percentage of emails that don't make sense. And to be honest, with each new model rolling out, sometimes you don't see the changes in maybe your daily life. I honestly didn't see that much change in ChatGPT 4.0 and ChatGPT 5, on my day-to-day chatting with it or daily tasks. Sometimes it's a bit better, but not something really, really big. But on scale of thousands and tens of thousands of emails, you can kind of see that, maybe, a certain percentage number of those emails is actually a little bit better in terms of the way it picks up the context and just in terms of how much we can actually send. Because we don't send each and every email. They still need to we still like check them out before we actually send out the campaign, and sometimes we can flag like 5 to 10 emails out of 1,000, and this number gets smaller with each new model.
To add on to Igor's point, our system just gets better. So what that means is, you know how I said the 39 data points, it just makes that research and that validation point a lot better, because we're finding all these different data points, data sources, and validating it when we have the company description, because we use so many different things to personalize, you know, tone of voice, USP, all these different things that come together. It just makes it get better and better every single time. So for us, it means we're able to find a better prospect, or we're able to find a more suitable prospect based on what that business type is. You know, we could be working with, we worked with a company called Charge a Go-Go. So they're a consumer product good. So what they do is they have a physical store where people can pay $1 to take out a portable charger, take that with them to the bar, take them to an event, whatever it is, and they get charged per hour. And for us, it's able to find, you know, not just the info email or the, you know, the manager email. It's, okay, we're finding the person that, based on 5 different data points and that it's publicly accessible, we found the bar owner. And so we're able to go and actually attack the person. Not attack, like beat them up, but more like attack them with emails. That this is the right person to kind of reach out to and help, for example, Charge a Go-Go get into those stores.
Yeah, this was really useful, a really useful conversation. Is there any way people can connect with you, both?
Yeah, for sure. You guys can more than welcome to add me on LinkedIn. We're posting nearly every day to talk about email marketing, sales, and then also what it's like to be a business owner for the last year.
Yeah, and we recently launched our Instagram as well, so if you just look for concrete and underscore Igor or Sawyer or Dale, you're going to find either me, Sawyer, or our CDO there, as well as our business profile, Concrete Growth Agency. So, yeah.
Yeah,
And
thank you so much.
No worries. It was a pleasure to talk with you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Apurva.